And happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to Woodbine Racing Live as we get set for 11 races in total. We are off of the grass for the day today. Jeff and Elisa alongside with you for the ride. Of course, some of the races change as far as scratches are concerned, distances change. I had a funny feeling that this weather was going to come our way, so, I kind of handicap for both surfaces today.
And I got to give a tip of the cap to some of the trainers out there. They were looking at the forecast. We had an unusual amount of MTOs on today's program of racing today as well. So they kind of had a bit of a gut feeling they were going to come off too. We're expecting some pretty good rain later on in the day, and the wind is going to be a bit of a factor too. But it's a bit of a different wind. It's going to be a tailwind at the top of the stretch for the horses.
Yeah, so pushing them down the lane as we have the 11 races today. 2 stakes events, as Robert had touched on, the South Ocean and the Frost King. Looking forward to those. And then we got to get your feelings on tonight's Blue Jays Mariners game.
I am unusually calm right now, so I don't know if that means I'm confident they're going to win or I've resigned myself to the fact they're going to lose. I don't know what that means. I don't know. It's been such a wonderful ride, and I just don't want it to end right now.
Well, it might not end if they happen to get the win tonight. I know it's really busy in Toronto today, too, because they have a marathon that's running today during the day, so there's all sorts of roads blocked off. So hopefully, it's actually good timing that the game will take place tonight. Gives everybody that's running in the marathon an opportunity to get out of town. The roads can open back up again because it's going to be busy down there tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a gong show. It's gong show at the best of times in downtown Toronto for traffic purposes. Whenever you have Leafs, Jays, it's take the subway, like that's the best, or the GO train.
Yeah, unless they cancel the lines on those days too. Speaking of gong show, what about yesterday? Wow, we had some big price winners on the program yesterday, just continuing with that trend that we've had all week long with these big priced horses getting victories. One of the biggest wins yesterday, I thought, came from Stroke of Genius, and we'll talk about that in a minute with a $57 return. But first, it was the Ontario Derby yesterday, the Grade 3 event. 2 turns the distance. We saw the face-off between Mansetti, runaway again, who unfortunately didn't really show up at all. But it was Borealis Trail who decided that Synthetic was the place to be.
I was talking with some of the connections afterwards, and they were mentioning this can be a bit of a tough horse to train in the morning, and that might be the reason why they gelded him early on, because he is a quality road. He's impeccably bred. But he's clearly getting better and better with each and every race too. Mansetti, I think he ran his race. He's been a guy that has danced pretty much every dance so far this season, with the exception of the Breeder Stakes. He will be champion 3-year-old now with that performance, finishing the 2nd place position. But this is an up-and-comer for next season, and as I was saying to Rachel yesterday, I think he's a perfect Woodbine horse because he can handle both surfaces perfectly.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was thinking he might be a little bit better on the grass, but he proved yesterday that he can handle both surfaces. As mentioned, the average win payout yesterday was over $21. We only had one favorite win on the program, and that was good old Uncle Philip Banks, who won for fun. He won for fun yesterday. But what else was interesting was that we had a lot of jocks double up on the program, with the exception of Jose Campos, who had 3 winners on the card. We saw Flores in the winner's circle twice. We saw Fukumoto winning twice. We saw Ryan Munger winning on 2 events as well. And some big price winners continued, with Stroke of Genius at $57 for Flores and Fitzgerald. Shelley Fitzgerald getting her first winner at the meet. And you know what else I thought was cool yesterday? A lot of smaller barns had victories on the card, and I thought Cheyenne Kerr rode a hell of a race on Mohaymen Diamond to take the 8th.
She is the most improved rider of the year for me this year. I think there's no question about that. Pakowicz won a couple on yesterday's card. Cassie did as well. But the one interesting thing that you and I found yesterday was like a light switch went off on the track. It was all speed and then all off the pace horses.
Half and half, you know, started off speed favoring, ended up with a closing racetrack. I don't really know what we're going to have for you today, because like they said, they are calling for some pretty bad weather to start around 3 o'clock with maybe some thunderstorms in the forecast as well. But one thing I do know is that it's warmer here than it is in Kentucky. It's 16 degrees today at Keeneland. And it's 22 right now here.
We'll brag about that for a day.
One day that it's actually warmer here. Alrighty, clock report from this morning. Let's take a look and see what Ernie Perry had to say about this morning's training. And he reports, of course, that the track was favored, I'm sure, from the inside, slightly better. He says today it's almost always better, with the exception of maybe a couple days ago we had some horses winning from the outside. He only rated the track a 3 out of 5, so that's one of the lowest ratings that he's given the racetrack. He says watch for this one. I like
That's
this horse
your horse.
first start out.
The
El
biggest
Capo.
face in all of racing.
Good luck finding that horse a halter or a bridle. It probably has to be custom made. He is a massive, and it's his face. It's like a Clydesdale. It's humongous. Yeah. But he had this huge work on a slow racetrack, so that's very important. He does mention the best wagering race he thinks is race number 11, which is the last dash for the cash this afternoon. I don't know. The one I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest, is the Dresden Row race. Race number 10
field, but you got
on today's card.
on that race.
Yeah, the face-off between Dresden Row and Paramount Prince in that event. I know there's some scratches from there, but still, that's maybe a great opportunity today for Dresden Row to get the win. I was saying to you too when entries came out and we were doing our handicapping. I think Lauren wants this race to come off of the grass.
So too. You know, this time of year on that course, if there's give to it, you know, it's a little bit chewed up because it's been so used this season. I think that he would feel a little more confident with that race being on.
Yeah, me too. I mean, these are great horses. You don't want anything to happen to them. So I'd feel a lot better being on the main track today as well. All right, let's get started with the handicapping on today's program. As mentioned, 11 in store for you, 2 stakes races. And we're going to start things off in race number 4 on today's card. 4th race, of course, will kick off the early pick 4, a maiden special weight going 6.5 furlongs. And we'll start it off today with 2-year-olds in a maiden special weight. Lots of firsters in this group. Bob Cajun from the John Mattini outfit has the inside draw. You got Crosby, I'm guessing, named after Sidney Crosby. Yep. Midnight Mischief for Steve Flint has the outside draw here today. But we have a horse that kind of caught our eye last start out, and that was Wembley Avenue from the Tbred barn.
I got to give you some props. This is a horse that you quite liked first time out, and it was the start of the pick 4. And after the race, we said we should have the exact because the horse that won it was the one that I liked. That was a Devin Gittins first timer. And then poor Wembley Avenue, you got totally hit like a body check coming out of the starting gate. And we'll show you exactly what we mean right now. We're going to show it to you a couple of different occasions in here. So we want to watch coming out of this race the number 6 horse in here. And it's not right at the break, but it's shortly after in here. So we're going to show you regular speed. And it's going to happen coming up right there. And he has to toss his head about. And we'll just show it to you one more time in slow motion in case you missed it. So this is obviously tough. Like he breaks kind of a step slow. And then everybody else is in front of him, and then he just has to take up. And essentially, as a horse, you lose all your momentum at that point. You have to start right back up again. So now we're last. Let's get to a later portion of the race and just watch this turn of foot. And what I kind of like that's so nifty with him, I'm always impressed when first-time starters can have this inside rally. I think it's so intimidating being on the inside when you have horses on the outside putting pressure on you. The winner is right in front of this horse, as a matter of fact, and that is Streets Have No Name. And they run terrific. Both these horses do, as a matter of fact. So we're going to see the winner of this race come up on one of our stake races today,
he was entered in the stake not long ago, right? And scratched out of that because it was really a quick back.
Really quick back, yeah. So he stays on the inside. The eventual winner goes towards the outside, but a very nice rally. Now, my question to you is, so you run very, very well first time out, but that's for 40. Can that race be compared to what it's going to be required to win in against main special companies here today?
Look, I trust Sid, and Sid's had so many good horses over the years. I think he said to himself after this, you know what, let's give this horse a go. I think he might be able to win against Maiden Special Weight Company, and I'm going to have to, I'm going that direction. I'm putting the 2-horse up on top. We've seen that happen many times where, you know, the evaluation is like, well, you know, the horse is training so-so in the morning, and you say, well, I'll go in that optional 40, and then you say, why not race for the big money in a maiden special weight? Now, what is interesting is that Flores leaves this horse, goes to the 3-horse, which is one he's never ridden before, and guess who's up? Ryan Munger, and this is a nice jockey-trainer combo. Ryan had a couple of winners on the program yesterday as well. You know, I just like that addition of Ryan here today. So 2-6 for me. You've got the 6 up in the top spot, that being Reb 5.
Just a massive drop for that horse.
A Vacoma. Purchased for not a lot of money. Sci-Fair, of course, was the shipper that came in to win the Algonquin. So we'll be watching for that in race number 4. Let's go to the 5th, which is maiden optional 40. And we'll go 2 turns here, 1 mile and 70 yards with the youngsters competing in this spot. We do have a filly taking on the boys here in this race, and that's the 7 Fully Completely. That's a hip song, right? Fully Completely
It's
is
an album,
is an
wasn't
album.
it?
Is an
Yeah.
album. Yeah.
Yep.
And so very, very Canadian there for the Canuck Racing Club. They love to name their horses after Canadians, which is great. Holy Rambo is here, getting onto the Lasix program last start out, which I think really, really helped out this horse's chances. He moved from 7th beaten 23 lengths to 2nd beaten only a length.
Yeah, good run for sure. Much improved effort there, and Flores will be aboard yet again. And another horse coming out of that race is Sanhedrin, and that was the first career start for him. I thought he ran very green that day. I just watched the replay a couple of times when I was putting together the show for today, and I was like, he really doesn't have any idea what he's doing yet. And we'll show you exactly what happens here as we're on the inside, and Hernandez is going to ride yet again in here, and your horse is going to be on the outside, that being Holy Rambo, who kind of gets first run with the white cap. And now we glide off the inside. We're going to try to get off the inside in here, and now here we come. But just watch, like this one just is laying in the entire way. It's already starting to happen. Like the Raff is like, come on, buddy, let's go in a straight line here. He just can't get this guy to quad. Look at, he's even hitting left-handed, you know. So I don't know if that's something that he does in the morning or not, or if that's just a greenness thing. But because he's doing that, it's affecting him going forward because he's going this side so
Sideways,
much.
yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that we're a little bit more polished for today's performance. I'm hoping.
I might change some equipment on him today too. You know, just change the bit on him and see if we can get him into a straight line here today. But 5-2 for me, 2-5 for Jeff. Doug McPherson using the 7 up on top. That's the Tbred fully completely. A mare on this one. She was a 5-time winner. This is the 6th foal, but so far only one winner to date from that mare.
And affiliate taking on the boys, which I don't mind as a 2-year-old. I'm not too worried about that. And there are a couple of trainers I can count on one hand that I'm very confident when they debut horses in route races, and one of them is Kevin. I have no problem with him debuting horses in route races. He's got very good stats, as a matter of fact, doing that.
He does, especially with his 2-year-olds so far this season as well. So race number 5 on the program, a maiden optional 40 for the youngsters. Let's go to race number 6, which is an optional 32. Now this race has changed. It was originally scheduled for 7.5 on the inner turf, which is 2 turns. Now it's 7/8 of a mile on the main track, just 1 turn. So it significantly changes in here. A lot of these horses, unfortunately, you know, just might not be main track specialists. Turf might be the name of the game for so many of them. And that's why you got to look at the main track only horses that are entered into here. I had put a star beside the 10, the Great Oz, because I thought, you know, if this race happens to come off of the turf, this horse certainly moves up for me because he's got the experience. He likes the main track. He's a 4-time winner on the synthetic surface, where some of these other horses, you know, synthetic is okay. The distance is a question mark for some of them as well, but you and I both gone to the main track only entry.
You know, Steve Flint kind of did something crafty in this race. He entered breaking alone, and then he put on the MTO Lucky Romance. We kind of had this race figured out a little bit. I'll run this one if it stays on. I'll run this one if it comes off. And the one negative to the MTOs that's not really their fault is when they do draw them, they always get outside draws.
Of course.
So what you can sometimes do is you can kind of risk it by saying, you know what, I'll enter and just pray it comes off, and then you get a better draw. But the Great Oz has overcome outside draws in the past. I just don't know why he didn't run better last time out. I think probably it was the competition more than anything. I mean, what would Western World be in this race?
Well,
you know?
yeah, that's right.
That's a pretty nice horse that you're facing in there. So you mentioned something. It was funny because I was hearing you do your handicapping under your breath when you're trying to readjust things in here.
Talking to myself.
And you're like, I don't know if Journeyman can go 7/8, and I think you're bang on with that thought. I don't know if he's as good going 7 furlongs right now at this stage of his career with 1 turn.
Well, he's gone 7.5, but that's on the
Different.
inner.
It's 2 turns. Yeah, but he's so good right now. He's really, really good right now. And Mason's Gamble obviously is really good right now as well.
All right, so race number 6 on the card again has changed significantly from 7.5 on the inner to 7/8 on the main track. It's also where we kick off the Jackpot Power Pick 6. What's up next? Let's talk about race number 7, which is an optional $50,000 claiming event. And look, here is a guy that we love, and we're excited to see him back. That's War Bomber here today. I don't know where he's been and what's been up, or if he needs one or not here today, but I don't want to get caught looking.
That's valid. I think he probably does need one, but I could be wrong on that. And he has just been such a cool horse throughout the years. He's a former claimer. He was originally developed by Mark Cassidy, and that's who they took the horse off of. And I'm going to try and beat him here with Summer Commander, who I think it's safe to say has never been better than he is
He's
right now.
good right now.
Barnes good right now. He's good right now. I don't mind the outside draw for him. I think if he does lose, it could be to the hands of the one that being Running Rocket. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about with Running Rocket is the 7/8. You know, he's never gone this far before. Mike Wright's junior claims Crumlin Lad. That's obviously a horse coming off of a big win. And then you've got the Cassie horse, the 4 Blazing Buchero in this spot coming off that victory last time out too. But Summer Commander for us, I just love horses that are good right now. You know?
And he beat a nice horse last start out in Friendly Ghost as well, who we thought was going to be tough in that race. And it really was a face-off between those two. Friendly Ghost ended up finishing third in there, but you're right, this horse is good, and this barn is very good right now too. Same with the rider.
You know what, I was looking up, it's funny that you mentioned that, so I don't have the stats as of yesterday, but when the racing form was published, so Stu's won 10 of 52. That's pretty good. But you look at his overall record, he has hit the board in 27 of 52 races.
He puts him in the right spot. That's for sure.
Like top 3 over 50% of the time.
And I would say if you took a look back over the last 10 years or so, he's consistent like that.
He is very, very consistent.
Yeah, has had a fantastic career as far as being a horse trainer is concerned. Hey, Robert went out to visit somebody.
The bomber.
Look at him.
Look at the admiration in Robert's eyes.
I love War Bomber. I kind of agree with you here today. I think he might need one as well, but I'm going to put him in my ticket because just in case.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
I mean, he hasn't raced since last November. We know he's uber classy. I just wonder what happened to him. What kept him away from the races? Here's his mom at the barn, that being Maria, who loves him, I'm sure. So always very important to acknowledge our grooms here that work so hard from sun up to sundown, before sun up to after sundown, I should say. All right, race number 8 is where we head next, which is the first of 2 stakes events, and this is the South Ocean. 7/8 the distance here for these 2-year-olds. Lots of 2-year-olds on today's program. And can Jamie Begg get himself back into the stakes winners enclosure with Sipping History? If he can't do it with Sipping History, can he do it with Pageant Queen?
Yeah, it's a great 1-2 punch. They both are very capable of doing some pretty good things in here. You've got obviously the queen of this division right now, and that's Super Diva. When it comes to like the restricted sprint division for 2-year-old fillies, she has been dominant. She won the Muskoka, she came back and won the Victorian Queen. You know what her game plan is going to be. She's trying to go right to the top. It was Ron Kierkink of the Racing Forum mentioned how busy Willie Thrandos is in these 2-year-old races. Both the 8th and the 9th race that we're coming up with a little bit later on as well. I'm going to go towards one that is light in seasoning, but I was quite impressed with Splash of Bourbon's first career starts. You know, that horse worked very well coming in that race. I thought it was a polished effort. They've had lots of time since that most recent event. And listen, the race goes through Super Diva, but I'm going to try and beat that one. You're going to go towards Sipping History. Why is it that you think she potentially could turn the tables on Super Diva?
Listen, she's got the experience, and what I wrote down beside her is sit. Let's just sit.
Yeah.
And in a sense, we're going to hope that Super Diva comes back. The issue is every time we've seen Super Diva go, and we've seen some fast fractions too with her, you're like, okay, she's going to start backing up at some point in time, and she just doesn't back up. But I thought, I'm going to see if I can get her here with Sipping History, if we can get kind of a crafty trip from this one, just sitting and waiting and hoping that Super Diva backs up. But I don't know if it's possible or not. She's just a horse who's good. She's won the Muskoka. She's won the Victoria Queen. Campos is live. He won 3 races on yesterday's program as well.
Do you think Super Diva will have a problem with the extra distance? Like, are we starting now to get? I know
that's what I was wondering too.
Further, but now we're starting to get to where stamina really becomes a key thing.
That's another thing I was wondering as well. So I don't really we've said this before with so many other trips. I don't want her to Sipping History sitting too far back. But let's sit just a couple of lengths off of her and wonder if 7/8 is going to be her distance here today. I've got something on the script. I honestly, did not look it up, but I guess Chris Lohman caught up with Steve Churka. I'm assuming it's audio that we're going to listen to here as well. So let's see what Steve had to say to Chris Lohman.
Well, I've definitely learned that distance limitations are not quite what I thought they would be originally. That's for sure. You know, she won going 4.5, and then kind of questioned, can she carry that speed going 6 or 6.5? But I guess that's not a question anymore. Both times she ran, she set, quick fractions, and she kept on going. And it's not like she was walking the dog on the lead. Like, she was having to run to make the lead. And the both times she ran, the boys' races were 20 minutes later, and she run a full second faster than the boys twice in a row now. So I just think they were both equally as impressive. The horse is a very, very easy horse to work around. And since she started winning, she's starting to get more aggressive. Like she's really in a zone. Like, she's an easy enough horse to gallop.
Well, he's right about that. She's in the zone, and he answers the questions too about distance as well. So, and he is correct. She has run some very fast races compared to the boys.
I find the ownership with the three a little bit interesting in here. Co-owned by Mark Dodson and Stronach Stables with his first-time starter for Josie Carroll. So, Josie's not afraid to start horsing against stakes competition. Let's face it, this race is very restricted, so they're going to give it a go.
So that's the 8th, which is the first of 2 stakes events. The second stakes event is the Frost King. Now, some people will use the Frost King as a little bit of a, we'll say, a stepping stone on the road possibly to the plate for next season. And in this spot, I think we'll see a lot of support obviously land with the 4. That's Silver is Best. Silver is Best comes in off of a win in the Bull Page. I think disappointed in the Simcoe because Big Bolden First won that race. That was the other horse from the Bill Theranis barn. And when I interviewed Bill in the winner's circle, he was like, geez, the horses I thought would show up didn't show up, and the one I wasn't sure would show up showed up. So he's got them both back in here again. Silver is Best, Big Bolden First.
I'm going to go price shopping with Be the King. Be the King glided up to Silver is Best, and Be the King I think got the jump on Silver is Best, and the Silver is Best just eventually went on by. But for a first career start, I thought Be the King ran well. Just got a little bit outfinished, a little bit tired late, but now we've got that race under our belts. If Streets Have No Name can handle the quick comeback, I do think he's potentially a big-time factor in this spot. But obviously, Silver is Best looks good. You've got a first-time starter in your Medicine Man, and then Reload Rally from the inside to really bounce back with a much better race in that most recent tilt. And I think Steve brought up a great point during his interview there. I do think in this division right now, the girls are a little bit better than the boys.
Well, and the girls have been beating the boys in some stakes events as well. But this one should be interesting. The Frost King, you get a little bit of everything here in race number 9 on the card, going 7/8 of a mile. I know we have a little bit more time, but you know what? I'm going to move on to race number 10 because the 10th race is one that I'm excited to watch. I know the race has changed, obviously, with the scratches and the change in surface as well. Now it goes a mile and a 16th on the main track, but I think that's probably what Lauren Richards wanted with Dresden Row. We keep saying, like, Dresden Row is sitting on a good one. He's sitting on a good one. And that last race we saw the old Dresden Row back again.
Yeah, he ran a good one last time out. It's a case of Elisa. He won the battle, but he lost the war. And the battle was between him and Paramount Prince last time out, so we'll show you exactly what we mean. I love what Ryan did in this spot as we go to the replay. Ryan went right after Patrick and said, Patrick, you are not getting an easy lead in this spot. And who is, meanwhile, just sitting in a perfect spot? It's Cool Kiss, who's the one in here. And you got on the inside Paramount Prince, on the outside you have Dresden Row. And I don't mind what Ryan did in this race one iota, because I think he said, you know what, if Paramount Prince goes to the front, he'll probably not get caught, and I've got to go after him. And now these two, they're really starting to put the pedal down, like really starting to sprint here at the top of the lane. And finally puts away the horse on the inside, and eventually here comes a horse that just got a perfect trip on this day, and that is Cool Kiss. Just got a great trip and was really good on this particular occasion. But I take absolutely nothing away from Dresden Row. He ran a terrific race on this day, and the only thing that I'm a tad bit worried about here today is the inside draw might be a bit of a hindrance for him if he's not able to kind of relax a little bit. But I think he's back. I think that last race is indicative that he is back to where he was from last season. In fact, it's a career best Spire speed figure. He ran that most recent race. He got a 98. Now, Paramount Prince, you've got to give some love to him too, because he bounced back with back-to-back big races. So it looks like he's starting to round back into his peak form as well in this spot. And the wild card is Ice Chocolat. Now, does the surface change her site Ice Chocolat? I think it does. This guy's 0 for 14 on the synthetic. Loves the turf.
You know who I think could be the wild card is Lac Macasa.
Yeah, draws in.
Isn't that interesting that Julia put the horse in for 50, lost the horse to Swift Delivery, of course, who's a lovely runner. And then when offered up for 50 after the Grade 3 Seagram, she was right back in to take the horse again.
They made the Clocker report, what was it, last weekend?
Report, has been working up a storm since moving back into Julia's barn. She might have the key to this horse. But this is a tough spot. But the old Lac Macasa, we would have said is a serious player in here.
You're right.
So,
and the only other runner in here is Loose Wire, and he's no slouch either. He's a Napoli horse that didn't run all that great last time out, but is better than what he showed us in that most recent race.
So 10th race on the program is an optional $80,000 claim event. No show wagering, I should point out, in that race because of the scratches. The 11th on the card today wraps things up, and that's the optional 40 non-winners of 3 life, and that's where we play the jackpot high five. Carryover there is more than $21,000. Well, that gets us through the 11 races that we have in store for you this afternoon. We are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll take a look at plays of the day. We'll talk about clogger horses, and we'll build our pick for them.
If whiskey could talk, Johnny Walker Black Label will sing with notes of sweet, smooth toffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Thoroughbred horse racing is steeped in tradition. It's known as the sport of kings and queens. But for those who are not monarchs, owning a thoroughbred racehorse is accessible to us too. And whether it's your family's biggest win in 30 years or your first win after your first few months as an owner, it's an experience unlike any other. To learn more about thoroughbred racehorse ownership in Ontario, reach out to connect with someone who can help you get started on your journey.
"24 minutes to go before race number 1 on the program here today as we discuss plays of the day on this 11 race program. Horses starting to come into the walking ring as well for the opener on the program. What do you got today?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's take a look. I've got right off the bat, Rep 5. That's the old drop and pop. That's your angle in here. My price play is going to be Sanhedrin, who we talked about being so green in that last race. My long shot's going to be the King coming up in race number 9. And my best bet is in the nightcap, that being Shadow Realm. And the nightcap yesterday, I did not have a definitive opinion. I do have a definitive opinion of the nightcap today.
Well, we got a good carryover in that jackpot high five as well in the last race on the program. I got Wembley Avenue, made my watch list today. That's the Cititard runner that's stepping up to try maiden special weight. I think Holy Rambo on Lasix certainly did help this horse out. I'm looking for Sipping History to turn the tables today in the stakes event, and Shadow Realm I think is sitting on a good one as well in race number 11 on the program today. Ron and Doug upstairs. Let's see what they've got for their top selections for the afternoon, fully completely from our Woodbine TV producer, who must be a Tragically Hip fan. Summer Commander for Ron Gearking from a Hop Barn, the Stu Simon outfit, and Doug is with me on Sipping History in one of the 2 stakes events that we have taking place here this afternoon. We've got clocker horses to pass along your way as well, and a couple of clocker horses for the afternoon. They will come up for you in races 8 and 9. 8th race, this is a horse that you like, Jeff. This is Splash of Bourbon, who is in one of the features for the day today, the South Ocean, and you like that debut from this one.
Love the debut, and I'm very happy to see the horse makes it onto the workout report. In fact, both horses in here are in our 2 respective stake races today, too. So you've got that one, and then you've got the first-time starter, that being I'm Your Medicine Man, who has grabbed the eye of one Ernest Perry.
Yeah, so that's off of the work from the gate in 48 and 2 back on October the 12th. Mare, one-time winner on this one, a first-time starter debuting in this year's edition of the Frost King Stakes. Those are your two clocker horses, and then it's time for us to give you the pick four. Now, yesterday we struggled.
Right, but we're going to change it up a little bit here. We're going to do the pick four rapid style here.
Rapid style?
Because we're a little bit tight for time, so we're just going to show our tickets.
Okay. And then we'll discuss it later.
There you go.
Okay.
That sounds like a great
So it
plan.
starts off, obviously, in race number 4 with the maiden special weight. And look at that. We got a lot of twos in our pick 4 today. So we're going to go 3 deep, 2 deep, 3, 3. And it's not an expensive ticket. Jeff and I never pay an
How expensive is it? It is $10.80.
$10.80. All right. Like, I owe them generally $20 a week.
Yeah.
So
your credit is good here.
Yeah, exactly.
Your credit's good here. You always pay. So.
I do always pay right on time. As soon as we are out of the pick 4, I send my e-transfer to Jeff. All right. That is the ticket today if you want to play along with us. And we'll discuss that a little bit more as we get closer to race number 4 on the afternoon's program. With 21 minutes to go before the opener on the card, we will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get a look at the horses for race number 1.